Hey guys, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
We're two lifelong friends and musicians, and when we're not playing gigs, we like to talk games.
And today on Gaming Gig, we are counting down the best 21 games that we played in 2021.
Alright, a little disclaimer here. These games are not necessarily games that released in 2021, but they are the best games that we played throughout this year.
Absolutely. You'll notice that some of the games are quite a bit older than 2021.
Starting off with number 21, we have Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury.
I just finished this pretty recently and played the Bowser's Fury add-on, and I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I did too, and it made the list. I mean, this is a game that I think deserves your time. If you haven't tried it, try Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury.
All right, at number 20, we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
This is a game that released this year. I personally really enjoyed it. We both played it. I saw it all the way through. Man, it was a long game. It almost took me 100 hours to finish this game, and that's just for the main campaign. That's crazy long.
Yeah, I played for like 17 or 18 hours and honestly don't feel like I got past the tutorial.
You may not have. This was a super long game. But I think if you invest the time, I think it's a really fun Assassin's Creed game. Certainly deserving to be on this list this year. All right, at number 19, we have Spider-Man. This is a game that released in 2018.
Both of us played this game. You finished it. I did not finish it. I did enjoy it quite a bit. I loved swinging around the city. But I did get a little bored with some of the combat, and the story wasn't my favorite, but I definitely think it's worth playing. It was a really cool experience.
This game may not have made the list if it wasn't for me. I really campaigned for it. I think this game is amazing. It super captivated me. As soon as I finished playing it, I moved on to Miles Morales. Awesome games. In my opinion, they're just phenomenal.
Well, that brings us to number 18, which is Metroid Samus Returns.
This is a Metroid game that we played in preparation for Dread. This is the most recent one before Dread, but it is a remake. It is a remake of Metroid 2, and it is awesome. If you have a 3DS, I think this is a must-buy.
Absolutely. I actually was borrowing your 3DS, which you bought from me, and I loved Samus Returns so much that it actually kind of prompted me to look for a 3DS. I ended up buying a 2DS before I even finished the game.
It's phenomenal, guys. If you like Metroid, if you have any interest in Metroid, and you have a 3DS, track this one down. If you don't have a 3DS, track down a 3DS and play Metroid Samus Returns.
It's a must play.
All right, at number 17, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Not to be confused with regular old Mario Kart 8. We're not slumming it with the Wii U, but I think this is the definitive Mario Kart, and who doesn't love Mario Kart?
Yeah, this is good no matter what year it is. The game's getting a little old, but it's a classic.
No doubt. All right, moving on to number 16, we have Beat Saber.
What can I say about Beat Saber that hasn't already been said? This is one of the best VR games. If you have any sort of VR headset, they've made Beat Saber for it. You need to get Beat Saber. It is a VR experience unlike any other. You can't have a VR headset and not have Beat Saber. That would be a crime. At number 15, we have Metroid Fusion.
Yeah, so this is another Metroid that we played in preparation for Dread. You know, we played all the 2D Metroids, aside from the original 1 and 2 because we played the remakes. But I think Fusion was our favorite before Dread for both of us.
It absolutely was. Fusion is a phenomenal game. It's very linear for Metroid, but I think that makes it awesome.
Yeah, some people complain about that. Don't listen to the haters. Just play Fusion. You're going to love it.
It's so much fun. Coming in at number 14, we have Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. Now that's a title.
Oh man, now don't be confused by the numbers. I know numbers are hard, but I went down the retro handheld rabbit hole this year, at least with Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Picked up a modded Game Boy Advance, and I played through this awesome remake of Super Mario Bros. 3, which was a game I played when I was a kid but never finished. And I'm telling you what, that game holds up.
All the Mario games hold up pretty well, but I think this one holds up especially well.
I think if you're a fan of platformers and you haven't played Super Mario Bros. 3, don't tell anyone you're a fan of platformers till you play it. At number 13, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake.
This is my first Final Fantasy game. So much fun. I have to say, I know that this game is very different from the original Final Fantasy VII. They've taken a lot of liberties in changing up not only the combat, but the story. They've added a whole lot of content. But man, I'm telling you, this is a really nice experience.
Yeah, as you know, I'm still playing through it. It's a little slow for me to play through these big, dense, single-player games sometimes, but I'm loving Final Fantasy VII. Definitely going to finish it up soon, and I say pick it up. Don't even think about it. Just buy it, play it.
At number 12, we've got Ratchet and Clank, the reboot from 2016.
Yeah, so I played this in basically one sitting. Really can't recommend it enough.
This game is just pure adrenaline, pure fun. You've got to play this one. It is one that I think is accessible to everyone, both hardcore gamers and casual fans. If you haven't played Ratchet and Clank, this is the one you want to start with.
Oh, for sure. At number 11, we have a little bit of an oldie, but a goodie with Red Dead Redemption 2.
It's not that old, but it is very good. Red Dead Redemption 2. I played this one this year for the second time. This is my second playthrough of the game, and I included it on the list because it's one of my all-time favorite games, okay? So even though it was my second playthrough, I still think it deserves to be number 11 on this list. It is just that good of a game. If you don't know about Red Dead Redemption by now, you know, you're living under a rock.
Yeah, I don't know where you've been.
All right, we're in the top 10.
Whew.
Number 10, we have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Oh, man. I mean, I can't say enough about Smash. I mean, I could gush for 45 minutes. We've done it before. I really campaigned hard for this to be in the top 10. I really honestly could have probably put it in the top 5, but I know that it's a little bit of an older game. I don't think that's a strike against it, but I just think there were some newer games that deserve to be a little higher. If you haven't played Smash, what's wrong with you? Think about your life.
It's the best fighting game, in my opinion. You gotta try Smash.
Coming up at number 9, we have Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
This is the new one. And I have to say, I think this one's even better than the 2016 reboot. Rift Apart has a really cool story. It's got new playable characters. It's got new weapons, new abilities. It takes everything that was great from the Ratchet and Clank series and just kind of bumps it up a notch.
I know some people who were Ratchet and Clank purists from the PS2 era had some complaints about what they've done with the character specifically of Ratchet as far as just how he acts and his attitude. But I wasn't playing Ratchet and Clank back then, and I loved it. This was my introduction to next-gen gaming, and I can't recommend it enough.
All right, at number 8, we have Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, so this is a game I played through this year. You haven't played it yet, but I know it's on your radar.
I just purchased it. It's still wrapped up. I need to open it.
Well, you gotta unwrap that bad boy and get started, because I'm telling you what, this game is amazing. I've never enjoyed a stealth-based game more than this. I loved the environments. I loved the story. It was so immersive. It's gorgeous, and the HUD is very unobtrusive. It's almost not there. You know, there's no waypoints that you're following way off in the distance. It just has some really clever ways of keeping you immersed in the game.
At number 7, we've got Hades.
Yeah, so as you know, Randy, this is a game that I'm obsessed with currently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a year late to the party on Hades, and I understand that, and I've heard a lot of hype around this game. Now, most of the time, things don't live up to the hype, but I'm telling you what, Hades deserves all the hype. It is amazing. Coming in at number 6, we have Resident Evil Village.
So this is the follow-up to Resident Evil 7, which is a game that I loved. And I'll tell you, Resident Evil Village delivered on every front for me. It's more fun than 7. It's less scary, which I think is a plus for me. The story is better. I mean, everything's better about Village. If you're interested in any sort of survival horror, this is the game for you because it's a great introduction to it. It's survival horror, but maybe survival horror light. It's maybe more action game. At number 5, we've got Metroid Dread.
So here we are, Randy. We've arrived in the top 5 best 21 games we played this year, and I can't think of a better way to start it off than with Metroid Dread. We put ourselves through Metroid boot camp to make it to Dread on time, and it was worth every minute.
My favorite game to come out on Switch this year. Metroid Dread just takes the cake.
No doubt. I love this game. I'm definitely going to play it plenty of times. It's short. It's easy to get a playthrough in. It looks great. It makes you feel cool. I just can't say enough great things about Metroid Dread. It lived up to all the hype that I had built up. I love Metroid Dread.
The best Metroid.
Absolutely. And I don't think that's a hot take. All right, at number 4, we have the 2021 Game of the Year in It Takes Two.
If you've got someone to play with, play this game. If you don't have someone to play with, find somebody and play It Takes Two. It is a co-op only game, but it is a phenomenal experience. You can't really sum up what this game is by saying one genre, because it sometimes is a platformer, sometimes it's a first-person shooter. It really changes it up constantly, but I'm telling you, it's all fun all the time. Go play It Takes Two. At number 3, we have Sea of Thieves.
This might surprise some people to end up on our list, and especially it be so high, but we have just become obsessed with Sea of Thieves. We've already done an episode about Season 5, and we did a little bit of gushing in that episode. Sea of Thieves is the greatest multiplayer game I have ever taken part in. I love it so much. Every playthrough is different. The social interactions are always hilarious. Even when you encounter people who are especially salty, it's still hilarious.
This is a game that you can literally play for hundreds, if not thousands of hours and not get tired of. Sea of Thieves is, I agree, the best multiplayer game that we've played this year. Maybe the best multiplayer game I've ever played.
Okay, at number 2, we have Last of Us Part 2.
We played this game a year late. I don't even want to tell you about the story, guys, because it's that good. It's not just about the story, though. The gameplay is really awesome. It's got really fun shooting mechanics, some cover-based shooting. It's got some really great stealth. It's got some fun puzzles, some light puzzles, but it's got some puzzle elements.
Obviously, it's a continuation from Last of Us Part 1, but it changes some things up in a really cool and fresh way, and it really emotionally affected me, and that's why it's so high on the list.
To be fully transparent, The Last of Us Part 2 is probably my favorite game of all time, so it's really sad for it not to be at number 1 on this list. It is certainly deserving of your time, and it is absolutely deserving to be at the very top of our list here. And that kind of leads us to our number 1 spot, the number 1 game that we played in 2021, and that is The Last of Us, the first game.
Man, so I campaigned really hard for The Last of Us Part 1 to be at number 1 because there wouldn't be a Part 2 without the first installment of the series. To say I'm an enormous fan of The Last of Us would be the understatement of 2021. The characters all ended up feeling like family to me by the end. I just love The Last of Us. It's my favorite game of all time.
I think that The Last of Us deserves to be number 1 because you're right. Without The Last of Us, there would be no Last of Us Part 2. And although I prefer Part 2, it's only by a little bit. The first game is so good.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't played The Last of Us Part 1 and or Part 2, you just need to go back and play through both of them back to back.
Oh man, it's like one game.
It is.
You can really put them together and it will be the best gaming experience you've had.
It's honestly maybe the best narrative I've ever experienced in any form of media. Gaming, movies, books, doesn't matter.
That's some high praise, but I agree with you. So that's our 21 best games we played in 2021. Now I know there are some games that you guys played that we don't have on our list. So tell us, what are some of the best games you played this year?
Yeah, guys, and don't forget to go follow us over on Twitter. We are at GameAndGig, and those are all words. We'd love to see you over there as well.
Yeah, Twitter's a great way to find out when our videos drop because you can't always rely on YouTube to tell you.
You sure can't.
Well, until next time, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
And this has been Game and Gig.
Peace and out.